Hello and welcome to a very dramatic episode of Sports Entertainment Weekly. We are 24 hours after an epic India Pakistan clash, something that has certainly been living up to the hype over the last few years, I want to say. And last night was no different either. An absolute nail biter, an instant classic, a welcome relief from the high scoring highway games that we had in IPL. This T20 World Cup has proved that there is more than one way to keep this game exciting. And as long as we have Pakistan, that is never going to be a problem. Keeping things nervy, entertaining, and if anybody is thirsty, there is enough bottling for everybody. Thank you, Pakistan, for making a contest out of what was supposed to be a very straightforward one-sided game. Thanks to you, we get to have an entertaining chat with two Australia fans, and our usual India fan Archit sits this one out. So we figured it didn't make sense for Rehan to get in on a handicap recording with me and Gandalf. We would spend 20 minutes talking about Australia simply because it's baggy green and Pakistan also has green in its colors. So we roped in Varun. Hi Varun, your Sports Entertainment Weekly debut. And Vias, who is making a comeback after ages.
Thank you so
And
much,
we can
Krish.
clearly see the excitement in his eyes and his smile. Thank you for making it. Clearly, he is still not over Shivam Dube, despite the fact that India won last night. I'm sure that is something he's saving himself up for. So we'll get to that. Uh, but where do we begin this discussion? Toss or the US infrastructure? What do you want to take on first, Rehan?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like even before the toss, like there was a rain delay, and like Nassau County, like this is a stadium that was built for like this T20 World Cup and the expansion of cricket. And even with that, they had a game up and running even after it was showering for like about half an hour, if I'm not wrong, right before the game. And they had a game on really quickly, and there was a like shower even after the toss. And yeah, we had a full 40 over game. So credits to the ground staff and like credits to the people who built the stadium. USA infrastructure right up there. Really good work.
Man, sitting
Hoping to
in
see some of
Bangalore,
it in
that
our
must feel
stadium.
like an out of the world experience for you, right?
I, I'm in Kerala now. We have rain.
To
Can
be
We
fair,
have
can
water.
same for
can
Varun and I
any
as well.
can any city in India ever boast of good drainage systems? I don't think so. So that's a common.
That's done.
Chinnaswamy. Chinnaswamy has one of
Chinnaswamy
the
has,
best in the world.
yeah,
Rajasthan.
I mean, if it doesn't rain, I guess.
the infrastructure is already set.
Mm, yeah, but absolutely, I think for a cricket fan, that was definitely an element of novelty. Um, like it would have been an absolute disgrace if yesterday's game was were to be curtailed due to the rains. Um, Pakistan won the toss. Everybody thought it was a fantastic toss to win. It was a no-brainer, and Babar Azam wanted to, like sound intelligent, sound like he was assessing things, making a call, on the spot. Actually hesitated briefly, but you could see his eyes light up as soon as he won the toss. Before eventually saying the words that every Pakistan fan wanted to hear at that point, which is, "We're gonna have a ball first." How did things pan out from there, Mr. Varun?
Yeah, so Pakistan really relied on their bowling attack yet again, and they did deliver actually. So right from the word go, Pakistani bowlers were just all over the Indian batsmen. At least the top order was just completely demolished, thanks to Virat Kohli getting out, in that fashion. I think that's not really Virat Kohli. Is like he's somebody I thought would give a fight against Pakistan at least. He also has a very good history of beating them, scoring about 83 runs of 56 balls in the previous World Cup tour that we actually had in Australia. So I was expecting a lot from Virat Kohli, but the way the first 4 5 overs were actually bowled, I think they were pretty much right on. And I think they lost quite a bit in the middle, right from about 6 to 12. That's when they lost their momentum, and then they tried to regain it again back during the 14th or 15th over, and then we had nothing to do but score a paltry 150. So I thought they did really good in terms of restricting us to a mere 119, and I think it was a good total to actually chase. It was right from when India scored that. It was just a one-sided game after that. I lost interest watching that match, and suddenly out of nowhere, Bumrah came in. Yeah, at least in terms of the bowling, I was really, really excited about Pakistan's bowling lineup.
Now, as a neutral, I was not really surprised at all by the result. I was, anyway aware that Pakistani bowlers were good, and they have been good in all of the tournaments that India and Pakistan have played before. They at least put their hand up in such tournaments. But the fact is that Pakistan winning the toss doesn't really ensure a win for their team. It's really immaterial. Whether they bowl first, bat first, their batters are going to bottle it up for them. So, and their bowlers, although they are pretty good, they are world class, otherwise. But against India, regardless of what you actually post, if India had chased this, they would have actually chased this with a couple of overs to spare. And, the last World Cup where Virat Kohli chased it, that's an example, right? The Indian batters actually put their hand up even when chasing against a really good Pakistani bowling unit. So for me, I felt that Indian fans were actually fretting over nothing. It was always coming, and such low totals can actually become really tricky while chasing. Had India made somewhere like a 149 or 155 or something like that, then probably they might have actually started really aggressive than trying to really go soft and push towards the win at 6 runs per over or 7 runs
Yeah,
per over.
Gandalf, it's interesting that you bring it up. I have a question, but I'll let VS speak.
I just wanted to tell Khandalf that one place where I agree with you is that I was not surprised, although I was watching as an Indian fan. Slightly worried, maybe, but surprised with the result, no. Because the Pakistan batting lineup looked paper thin. They have a lot of inexperience, and it looks like a ragtag team. We over here, three of us were watching, and we were just waiting for the wicket of Riswan to fall from a good ball, which I was expecting either Arshdeep or Bumrah to pull in, and Bumrah did that exactly. And from then on, it was a steady collapse from Pakistan. So the end result was definitely not surprising, especially given the fact that in the initial few overs there was some clear evidence of swing from both Arshdeep and Bumrah, and the pitch had slightly unexpected bounce, which, despite the rain factor that happened earlier on, surprised the batsman a little bit. So, considering the fact that we have a good bowling lineup ourselves and that it was Pakistan, slightly worried maybe, but very much hopeful even till the middle overs and extremely elated towards the end. I did not give up.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think I
So,
think I'll take
do we,
this question from RCB kid who's asking about Babar Azam's captaincy, and he looked clueless on the field. And Babar Azam is
one
not a
second.
captain material.
RCP kid, are you referring to Babar Azam's captaincy or batsmanship when you say clueless on this?
I think what he's talking about is probably the
This
way he's actually, stewarding folks around and trying to actually have some
Yep.
field awareness and game awareness and rotating his bowlers and things like that. And I totally feel that he was never a captain and he should not be made the captain. The Pakistani selectors or whoever is actually whoever has made that decision probably looks at Babar Azam as the best player, if not the best batter in the whole team or in the whole country, and then probably took that decision. It's like making I don't know. It's probably like making Trent Bolt the captain of New Zealand or
Sachin,
something like that. Yeah,
the
or
captain
Sachin
back in the
Tendulkar the
day.
captain
Yeah,
of India. So
Yeah,
it's probably such a decision that was probably
yeah.
made. To be honest,
Babar
a better
Azam,
captain would have
mm,
been someone more proactive and someone more energetic on the field, so like Imad Wasim in that lineup is what I'm actually calling out. Someone like Imad Wasim. The problem is that Imad Wasim himself is an epitome of what you call the bits and pieces cricketer, right? So he just chips in with
So
something
that's
or
what
the
you need
other,
in
but doesn't
T20 though.
really make an impact for a team to win a 2020 game. So that's the problem. Otherwise, Imad Wasim actually fits into the, what do you call, the uh, mold of captaincy that you would have, want in a 2020 game for Pakistan. And who's the? I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not recollecting, but who's the Test captain that they appointed last year against
Shaheen
Australia?
Afridi was a captain in one of the formats.
Shan
I
Masood,
don't.
Shan Masood,
Yeah, so Shan
Shan.
Masood
Shan
was the
Masood.
Test captain who was appointed last. So I think Imad Wasim will fit in that bracket of captaincy. He's a sharp guy. Shan Masood actually was a
I
good
mean,
captain.
Yeah.
Imad Wasim just got pulled into the T20 team like right now because of his outstanding performance in the PSL, and rightfully so. He's an outstanding T20 cricketer. He bowls 4 overs of left arm spin, which is virtually unplayable. And you could see in a game that was like being ruled by fast bowlers, you could see how much of an impact he had with his left arm spin yesterday. Even bowling two negative matchups, he bowled really, really well. And he is a cricketer who can generally tonk at the end as well, while he was not able to display that at the end. But yeah, and speaking about Babar Azam's captaincy, you look on field, off field, he's never really been a great captain. He's somebody who throws his players under the bus. He like he individualizes like each
For
player. You blames the mistake on a single player. That's never a sign of a good captain. They were playing hot potatoes with captains, if I'm not wrong. Yeah,
yeah,
Uh, I think
that's true.
a lot of has to do with the pressure that the captain is actually carrying right now. So for a very long time, Pakistan has been trying to identify, you know, somebody to look up to. Inzama Mulhaq was that guy for Pakistan.
Imran
Shahid
Khan,
Afridi was a guy like that, and then you had Imran Khan. So you had good
Misbah.
batsmen, Misbah. You had all these players to look up to, and suddenly you find there are no batsmen at all in the Pakistan lineup, and all these players who have experience, they've just started playing cricket, right? So they are just about,
Everybody is a bits and pieces player, and
yeah.
it's just
So
so much juvenile,
yeah, so
energy going on. There is
slightly
not somebody who,
inexperienced, if I should.
yeah,
Yeah, it was definitely an inexperienced side. Of course, they always had a really really good bowling lineup. Pakistan was never shy of producing some great fast bowlers. So they've been doing it consistently over the years. But then a right captain, I don't really think. I'm forgetting this guy's name completely. So I think that was his captaincy completely. Like it was definitely forgetful. Let's see how he actually pulls his socks up and then the rest of the tournament for the T20 World Cup.
I think they are on the verge of elimination here. So
Yeah,
uh,
I
they
think
lose one more game,
everything depends
and
on like USA Ireland game. Their
yeah.
qualification depends on that. If USA win that, they're
yeah.
out.
Yeah, and
I,
it was against Ireland actually that they lost all respect, and also their coach in an unfortunate incident. The last time they had a World Cup in the Caribbean,
Bob
Bob
Ulmer.
Woolmer, if I may recall.
Bob Ulmer.
But
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, I think there is something with Pakistan, going really overconfident against the associate nations early up in the tournament and then losing it there. Um,
Ireland's not an associate nation.
no, I'm not. I'm talking about USA.
Okay,
Ireland
okay.
is not.
Sorry,
Ireland actually played a
sorry.
test match with India.
Yeah, no, I was talking about USA. Yeah, I beg your pardon. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was
Yeah,
Yeah, the
talking about
tourism.
Pakistan losing it against the US, and now having to depend on the US again to do something against Ireland, and
Oh no, they
that
need Ireland
sorry,
to win.
they want Ireland to win the match against USA so that US doesn't become the top two teams. This is not what ICC or BCCI would have dreamt of in terms
Yeah,
of
Yeah,
revenue making.
they would have certainly wanted another India-Pakistan
Yeah.
contest in the
they made
business.
this in such a way they wanted three India Pakistan games.
Yeah.
They,
They had the group
yeah,
stage, now going into the Super 8s and then semifinals. This is a long tournament, actually. So, I think, was this the format last time when we had the T20 World Cup in Australia?
No,
No,
definitely
right?
not.
It was just
no.
No.
straightforward games and
This is
then the finals directly.
this is the
Yeah,
first time we're
last
having
time it
these
was
many teams, if I'm not
round
wrong.
robin format, and all
Yeah,
teams played
They
against
only had
everyone.
eight
And
teams.
yeah,
Hey,
Yeah.
guys, I want
exactly.
to slightly pull the discussion back, and because we are focusing so much on Pakistan, their attitude and outlook, uh, yesterday's game felt very scripted to me. Scripted, not in the
Just because
Jay
you
Shah
saw
idea,
Jesha.
not in
Are you
that
Just
talking
because
about
way.
there's a
the
Jadeja in the team,
WWE kind of
just because
the
there's a Jadeja
WWE
in the team doesn't mean.
Vince McMahon kind of a script or a Jay Shah kind of a script, Krista?
Okay, see, I should have braced for that when I worded it the way I did. But what I mean is, it felt like everything went according to how a viewer would expect the game. Like when Pakistan won the toss, it was, it had just rained and it was perfect bowling conditions. You had the quick guns
Yeah.
coming in. The momentum was there with Pakistan, and India kind of lost the plot. Like Varun bringing
I
up
would say,
Virat Kohli
Krista,
chasing.
you said script, right? I would say it was like a Sandeep Bangareddy's kind of script because it was extremely cringe and as predictable as it was cringe. And regarding the cringe
And
factor, I
much
just want
like
to,
his films, awkward silence was the response here as well.
yeah, and one thing that actually made me silent yesterday while watching the game was none other than Shivam Dube. I really want to bring the discussion to him because we're not going to focus on Pakistan without bringing in the main criminal, and it's not Pakistan for the first time. So, like I was saying, the selectors, they saw that the tournament was happening in USA, and they mistook this for a baseball tournament because they took a player who just plants his feet, stays put, and does the same one swing over and over and over again, hoping for a home run. I don't think he's a cricketer. And let me just remind you that I'm a Chennai Super Kings fan. I support the damn team. I support two teams. I have the misfortune of supporting two teams, of which this person, Shivam Dube, is a part of. I don't want to be rude to him. He's probably a great individual, but I don't think he deserves selection in the Indian team's tour because it was very clear even in the last match that Chennai Super Kings unfortunately played against Bangalore that how much of a one-trick pony he was. He smacks spinners and he smacks spinners who bowls length. So if the spinners go slightly offside and fuller, he has no response to it. If the spinners pitch it shorter and into him, he just defends it. So as long as the ball is in his arc, he hits it and he does a good job of doing it. But he cannot play paces properly. He cannot play swing. He cannot play paces on the offside, and that is a huge problem. I mean, that's supposed to be a proper run scoring ball in modern cricket. If the pacer is giving you proper width, he just hesitates. He cannot connect the shot well. And we have this player in the team calling him an all-rounder. And that brings me to my second problem. If you took him as an all-rounder, why is he not bowling? He did not bowl a single ball yesterday. And I don't consider him to be a bowler who is good enough to be bowling in a World Cup tournament. So he's neither a good batsman, nor is he an all-rounder because we don't need him to bowl. And the less I say about his fielding, the better. So it simply baffles me as to why Shivam Dube is in the squad. Forget in the squad. He was not supposed to be playing in USA. He was supposed to be having a snack with his family and watching it on TV peacefully so that people like me, people like us who support both CSK and India could also be at peace. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. I leave this here.
Wow. Okay, then.
Uh,
That deserves a
okay.
special segment in itself. But I totally agree with VS. The part where Shivam Dube doesn't belong to the squad or the team here, I frankly feel that he was rushed. He was rushed into this World Cup just because of proving in a few IPL matches that he can play spin. And he was rushed because the management felt that he was the specialist batter against spin bowling or slow bowling. But then fast bowlers in the US have been bowling really slow. But then he's actually succumbing to those because they're bowling slightly off length and back of length, as VS rightly called out. And that's where he's struggling. He doesn't have the
Okay.
technique for a long range, middle order batter in a 2020 team. Someone like, let's say,
I'd like to interject here.
even someone who struggles, even someone who we used to make fun of and call as a bits and pieces cricketer, someone like Marcus Stoinis, I think probably is a better guy than Shivam Dube.
I'd like to
Comparing
interject here.
Marcus Stoinis to Shivam Dube is like saying Newton is a better physician than me. It simply doesn't add up. So let's not insult Marcus Stoinis by bringing him to the equation. Like Kandalf, as I think all of us agree here, Varun and Rehan, I don't see them being
Yeah,
angry, although I'm
No,
I
but
calling out
completely
the
I
agree.
two.
feel Varun agrees, but Rahan
I'm
was
sorry,
a
I
big
actually do
proponent.
disagree.
Rahan was a
But I
big,
have
big,
a point.
endorser of Shivam Dube while the IPL was going on. and he may
Yes.
have his points, but I feel that towards the last fag end of the IPL, he was sorted by many bowlers.
Okay. Yeah.
Shivam Dube did.
He did.
Sorry, yeah, Rehan,
Sorry.
go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so basically, I would say that Shivam Dube, yeah, he shouldn't be in the 11 right now, but I would select him in the squad because he is going to come useful to you at the latter stage of the tournament. That is the half that's happening in the
Caribbean.
Caribbean. He
Yeah,
is a good
exactly.
spin hitter. There is no doubt about that. He has actually wonderful stats against left arm spin, against leg spin, and off spin. It's not just something that's happened in one IPL season. Even when he plays for India, he's had a strike rate of over 144. He's somebody who's supposed to be paired with your version of Kohli. I'll take the question that RCB kid asked and answer it together. Why Kohli isn't batting one down? Why is he opening? Because Virat Kohli is one of your best pace hitters in the world. Like he in the power play can hit pace better than most people, and he is absolutely freaking disabled when it comes to hitting spin, as we have seen in multiple seasons of IPL, international cricket, or whatever it is. He cannot hit spin. So pairing somebody like Shivam Dube with Virat Kohli in the Caribbean later on would be something that's incredible for India. You can keep the run scoring high. Virat Kohli can switch the keep rotating the strike, etc. All of that. That is what is going to happen. Just watch out. Wait for the Caribbean. Right now, I think somebody like a Sanju Samson or a Yashasvi Jaiswal can easily come and slot in and take the spot. But yeah,
I'm just going to slightly, also call out that the grounds in West Indies are a little bigger than the ones that you see in the US. So you need somebody who can actually hit that range. You need somebody who can actually, on a normal day, go out and hit about 85, 90 meters, six, right? So somebody who can also just take the turning ball. And you know that the balls are going to turn in the West Indies and it's going to grip a little than what you're actually seeing in the US over there. So I think we all
His
understand why he's been picked in the 11 or in the squad, but I think India is just experimenting or giving him chance right now just to make the mistakes and correct it in the later stage of the tournament is what I actually feel. I think plus one with Rehan on this and why Shivam Dube has been selected in the squad. And of course, you can go back to Sanju Samson as your
before.
number
Yeah.
four batsman instead of playing, Surya can actually come down at five. He's that floater that you have in the team as well.
I would actually
I
think
wouldn't put
that it's
Surya
going
that
to be
high
a
up.
big gamble if you are going to experiment with Shivam Dube towards the business end of the tournament. And would you actually give him a chance in the crunch matches, or would you rather trust someone who is already proven across various tracks, across various conditions, and across various conditions of pressure? So I would definitely go, not go for someone like Dubey just because he has an expertise in certain places. Doesn't mean that the team may actually go for someone like that in a crunch game, let's say a semi-final or a final.
I
And
just want
and
to
mind
pick.
you,
I have
West
one more
Indies is
point
a
to add.
very different kind of, as Varun himself called out. West Indies is a very different kind of spinning track. It's not like the Indian spin or the subcontinent spinning conditions where you actually see the ball rip and turn square and dust comes off and things like that. It is going to be something where bounce will play a role. It can
Yeah.
hit the top of the bat and go for a catch anywhere within that span, within the span of that huge ground. And it is
There's
going
one
to
more
be
thing. It's
something
just
similar
not
to,
about,
yeah, I will just finish this point. It is going
yeah.
to be somewhere something similar to how Australia pick Nathan Lyon on a Perth wicket or at the Gabba. Although these are
Right.
traditionally known to be pitches which favor the pacers, Nathan Lyon actually comes up shining, all guns blazing. No, it is in no one's book. No other spinner actually does well in those conditions. The only reason is because of the high arm action and the bounce that he extracts, and that's going to be a factor in some of the West Indies tracks because it's that kind of wicket where the ball will grip, bounce a little bit than expected, and take the top of the bat.
Absolutely. Ball is going to drift a lot more in the Windies.
Yeah.
Yes. And there's one more reason. If you looked at death bowling or like middle overs bowling, basically in the IPL or what has evolved like over time in T20 cricket, it's not your Yorkers, etc. That's what they're going for. They're going for hit the deck bowling in slow balls into the deck, basically. And in order to hit that, you need to be very strong. If you want to hit that for sixes, you aren't going to get that off of your timing. That is why somebody like Virat Kohli, who was somebody who is really, really good at picking up slower balls. You've seen how he's lost his ability. It's not because he's not picking the slower ball. It's because he's not that strong to clear the boundary with those sixes. Uh, he is just not. Rohit Sharma was struggling. He's somebody who relies on timing. When he tries to muscle the ball, you see what happens. Shivam Dube
Only
is the strongest man in the Indian
Dube and
T20 setup
Pandya
right now,
are two people who can actually
who muscle the ball
muscle and
well.
keep
Who
Yeah.
up.
can, yeah, who can hit
So
the big.
you need somebody like that against your death bowlers who are coming because you don't really have many Yorker specialists in international cricket at the moment. So you're going to see a lot of hit the deck bowling, slow balls into the pitch, cutters, etc. You Dube, if trained well, is your man.
I think
Yeah,
time to move
absolutely.
on from Dube and bring in the
Yeah,
man of the moment, Jasprit Bumrah. What a
Okay,
player
one
in
question
Harsha
before we
Bhogle's
start.
words. What a player, what a bowler, what a ball, what a you know. So I think he can change. He's that all conditions bowler that you want, right? I think I had
Yeah.
already spoken, and we have all spoken at some length about him in some of those episodes earlier that we had. That he's that all conditions bowler, just like you have all format bowler batters, all conditions batters like Virat Kohli, Kane Williamson, etc. You have this all conditions, all format bowler. Anytime you bring him in, he's going to give you what you want. So that's Jasprit Bumrah. I think he single-handedly changed the match. I mean, also assisted by Pakistani batters, but then it's your moment, Varun and Rehan.
Absolutely.
Jasprit
So
freaking
one
Bumrah.
point that I wanted to make here is that Jasprit Bumrah has actually come back from an injury. He had a pretty average IPL, and then people did expect from him, and he actually delivered it. And to
When did
actually,
Bumrah have an average IPL?
he did have an average IPL. He
He
was,
was
I mean, in the
phenomenal in
back end
Bumrah
of the
T20.
IPL,
standards. Bumrah
Bumrah
standards. It's
standards.
like economy rate was
See,
7.2 instead of 6.6.
See, the thing is that
So
he may
average.
not be picking up wickets like before. I mean, of course, he picked up wickets yesterday, but
Yeah.
the thing
He's
is that
actually picking
most
up more
teams
wickets
around the
now.
world,
He's not.
most teams around the world, and most teams in the IPL are just trying to play those 4 overs out. And then he would just give out around like 16, 17 runs off those 4 overs, maybe picking up one wicket or no wickets at all. And then probably the rest of them do the job. So that's where probably his economy improves, but then he's also looking like he's actually not had a great IPL or a great tournament.
And you always bet on quality, right? So that's the thing. You don't make your decisions based on purple patches when it comes to players like Bumrah, who's pure quality. So even if it is by his standards a bad season in IPL, you would want to bet on him. And I think Bumrah, what he was trying to do yesterday was he was either going full or putting it really short. So he stuck to his two proper deliveries: the slow ball into the deck and the full ball Yorker, both of which troubled the batsman. So you have talent like that. You have the quality to hit the ball exactly. You take a safety pin and put a dot on the pitch and ask Bumrah to hit it there at this particular play pace, and you can count on him to do that. So it absolutely didn't surprise me that he was the breakthrough man, and I hope he continues to be so throughout the tournament.
Jasprit Bumrah just raises the level of any attack like by miles above what their standard is supposed to be. Like he is not just the best bowler in all formats. He is the best bowler in each format currently. He's your best test bowler. He is the best test bowler right now. He is the best one day bowler. Yes, sir. I feel
Uh,
like you want to put
Uh,
Pat Cummins' name
Before
into
we
that.
moved on from the before no, I'm
Uh,
not gonna do that. I have scandals to do that.
okay.
The reason I wanted to stop the proceedings was call out on all of you for saying Bumrah had an average. Even by his standards, he has had an exceptional World Cup. I don't know, somehow you got a narrative mixed up or whatever.
I
He went above
I
nine
meant before
and
the.
over only on three occasions.
Oh, I
Literally,
didn't mean this
literally
year
under
was an
seven.
average IPL. Yeah, he had like he had the best economy rate for a pace
Yeah,
bowler.
I think he's
Uh,
yeah, exactly. Like,
yeah.
he did not have
Oh,
any
I'm sorry.
support
I
or
was talking about a
whatsoever.
previous season at all, like the one where he was like injured and played only half a season or something. If I'm wrong, he was being rested, etc. He was
Oh,
rushed for
okay.
the Asia Cup or something, right? Yeah. This season he
He
was
did
the
not make
best
it
by
to
a
11.
country mile. Yeah. He was trying to be rushed before he was fully ill. There was this famous bowler, I can't remember whom. So basically, when he went to get back surgery, he said that they fixed a problem that he didn't even know he had. I think that's what like happened with Bumrah. Like somehow they fixed his back, and he's just been absolute freaking fire once he's from since when he's back. Look at the England basketball series. Look at the 2023 World Cup. That is an all-timer campaign. Like make no mistake about that. And look at the IPL. When the average scores have risen so much, Bumrah's economy went down. Can you
Yeah.
believe that?
And even in yesterday's match, he had the best economy of 3.5. So, and the rest had about above 5 or 6 with that low scoring game.
Yeah,
They
he
were
was
supposed to
like,
give him player of the tournament right then and there for that spell. And it took him exactly one ball. Bumrah is so good. I'll tell you what. Siraj and Ashdeep, when they opened the bowling, they actually bowled a little too full, and you could see they were erring in length. In that pitch, you needed to be slightly shorter to get that optimum swing or seam. You could see like Siraj and Ashdeep took an entire over. Bumrah took one ball, and the second ball was spot on. That's how good that man is.
In fact, India had to open with Siraj and Arshdeep for that swing. And only because of that reason, they were a little fuller than Jasprit Bumrah. And that's why Jasprit Bumrah was actually brought in a little later than these two fast bowlers that we had. Of course, it was a very good start for India. And for restricting them to a mere 35 in about the first power play, I think, with Pakistan, and that kind of put the pressure back on Pakistan. They were just
I
not hitting
disagree.
boundaries at all.
I disagree about keeping Bumrah late. You obviously want your best bowler with that new ball, white ball. But yeah, I think we can move on. Like we should talk about Pakistan bowlers as well. Naseem
Do you
Shah.
think this is
What?
okay? Before we move on to Pakistan, do you think this is the team to beat? And is this the India team that will finally uh, break the end the streak of not winning a major world tournament for a long time?
I want to
Or
take
would you
the
make changes to
advantage
this
of
team?
the India fans.
Gandalf, if you just
I,
want us to say that Australia are the favorites, it's not India,
No,
we
I'm
can
I'm
have
I'm
it.
just asking the
I
I'm
don't
just
think
asking all you India guy, fans,
Kuldeep
whether
needs to
you
come
would
in.
make any changes or would you let this team be?
Kuldeep needs to come in
Absolutely
for
not.
maybe Jadeja.
in place of Jaddu.
Yep.
Jadeja
Axar is the
gives you
better
that
T20
extra
cricket.
bat. So
I'm sorry. Axar is the better T20 cricketer.
And this
yeah,
He is
might be
a
a
good spin hitter.
pretty early call to say this, but I don't think I'm very sure
Jadeja has
about
actually
Suryakumar
won a
Yadav
lot of
keeping his place in the
matches.
team because
Sorry.
he has a talent. I'm probably not very sure about Suryakumar Yadav staying in the team. He had a flash
Is
of
this guy
good
in India
innings in the
fan or
IPL down
what?
towards
I
the
don't
line.
That kind of
understand.
shocks me a lot right now.
because because I have this problem with Surya Kumar Yadav that when it comes to low scoring affairs, when it comes to bowling pitches, he is not somebody who's very reliable. So I would rather go for a safe bet, somebody without his range of strokes and somebody without his range of expansive play, but somebody who is maybe a little bit more
Can,
consistent. So that's why I told you
can
I
somebody
might
bring in
consider dropping Surya Kumar.
The average
local
is
man
caught.
is
He's
So you
trying
want to
striking
to
at
drop
170.
Suryakumar and bring in Kuldeep, is it? You are going to replace a bowler for a batsman.
No, not Kuldeep. I would say a batsman, a pure batsman, somebody who's a little
The
bit more
average is 40
conservative
in
with his
You don't have
batting.
international
options
cricket.
over there except for Sanju Samson. You don't have anybody else to
Yeah,
play
yeah,
at
maybe,
a
maybe,
certain
maybe,
oh, of
maybe,
position.
maybe.
course. That solves it. He
Oh yeah,
wants
the
some.
Malayali
Okay.
factor, right?
Even I'm
Yeah, man.
Malayali, but I know that is.
Finally,
Sanju
an
Samson
expert.
sent me 3 Padamparis to my house in Kottayam for making me say this.
Okay. See, I think VS is being like insanely critical, like how I am with Australia when we win, but just when we don't dominate at in games. I can clearly see that. But this is just two games in, and you're doing okay. I don't see a need to do a lot of chopping and changing.
Especially with
Maybe
Surya
take
Kumar
out
Yeah,
some.
Yadav.
exactly. And you
Yeah.
haven't even faced South Africa, West Indies,
Yeah,
or Australia
Yeah.
yet. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
so
you know
South Africa just
oppositions
barely
that you
pulled through
need to.
against Netherlands, by the way.
And we are not
Did you all see
expecting
that
many
game?
chops and changes either because of the result. I mean, we won the match, so probably the selectors will have enough to justify keeping even Dube in. So I'm not expecting any changes.
Yeah,
But there is always some fun in revolution, and if you see that there is a scope for improvement, I would rather jump at it. But yeah,
yeah.
people are more conservative these
Um,
days.
So I think you're in decent shape. I think by we, I mean Gandalf and I and Australia, we are in decent shape. I want to take Gandalf's question over the India fans in the house. Maybe it's the World Cup and the way it ended in heartbreak for India. Now you kind of
yeah.
steamroll teams for 10 games only to get stopped right at the end. This time, I don't really see this India team as the favorites. I see somebody like a West Indies or somebody who comes out all guns blazing, like how India played in that 50 over World Cup. I
Australia
don't see the Australia.
ahead in Warner. Did you see their opening partnership? They scored 71 in the power play, if I'm not wrong. 71, 72.
see, I exactly. So I think that game, both teams scored well in the power play, and I think only one man, just like you have Jasprit Bumrah, we have Adam Zampa. So I think he changed the game. So
I
Adam
Yeah,
think he has
Zampa
as
also.
many player of the match in World Cups as Glenn McGrath, like as a bowler, if I'm not wrong. Highest
I'm not sure
possibly,
of that
player of the
stats,
match
but
in
possibly.
these
interesting.
stages.
Yeah, but I think I would differ with that point, saying that the team that comes out all guns blazing, that would win the tournament. It's going to be a slightly different one than the IPL that you have seen. It's not going to be your Heinrich Klaasen or folks like that who
The
will win you
team
this.
that went all guns blazing did not win the IPL. The pragmatic, the more balanced
Yeah.
team won the IPL.
Actually,
Exactly.
KKR went more all guns blazing than SRH. KKR's run rate was higher. I'm sorry.
Yeah. See, my point is that you will need some kind of. That's why I think we had this discussion earlier that anchor players would actually matter in this World Cup more than ever in this format. And by anchor players, I don't mean someone like a Kane Williamson or a Steve Smith or someone like Joe Root or anyone. It's probably someone who can quickly transform and adapt. And I suspect, I'm hoping and I'm suspecting that probably Australia have given that role to Glenn Maxwell now, given his
David Warner.
recent form loss. Probably he's changed his stance a bit, and he's probably taking this thing of like let's go a little around 100 and 120 strike rate of sorts and play the anchor role, come in early than just trying your shots and the entire range and getting out within the first 5 balls. So probably they are trying because they have a lot of power hitters in the team right now. They have, if Maxwell fails, you have Wade, you have Marcus Stoinis, you have Mitch Marsh, you have David Warner and Travis Head at the start. And if one of them had to be replaced, you have Jake, Fraser McGurk. So I think what I'm trying to say is basically the role of the anchor player. It need not be an anchor player that we know of, like a personality or a batter type, but it could be those players who can adapt and become an anchor player. Someone like a Virat Kohli, he can go at 200 strike rate and at the same time, curb his instincts and then play the anchor.
Where's
But
that fifth when
Steve
you
Smith
need it?
can't do that. Joe Root can't do that. So yeah,
I'm not too sure. Maxwell is actually just coming, he's just coming into the tournament. He scored a duck, he scored a 28. Now he's looking to, improve or flourish from here on, at least, in the Super 8s. I think he'll come good in few innings for sure because they have quite a bit of matches in the West Indies as well. So they'll definitely look forward to capitalize on that for sure. And do you have any anchor players in India that you think could come of age during this series? I think Rohit Sharma is that player for India, and not Virat
yeah.
Not
Kohli for some reason.
freaking Kohli. I'm pretty sure like Virat Kohli, like if you just do that word thing that happens in Harry Potter. No, Tom Marvolo, Riddle,
I wish
Voldemort.
it happens. I
Somewhere,
wish it happens.
somewhere, if you do that with
Actually, to be
Virat
honest,
Kohli, you will
at
have
this
an
point,
anchor.
I think this is the point where you bring in Sanju Samson, and I think he would be a better anchor player. He can actually he has those proper cricketing shots than someone like Shivam Dube. Like VS, that's a win for you. So you can bring in someone like Sanju Samson. He can play that role in matches where you lose like 3 wickets, 4 wickets down. He can get you that 50 ball 65.
Yeah, we need more conservative players who will just keep the scoreboard ticking at a decent pace than somebody who is going to just blast like Dube or even Sky for that matter. I know that when it comes to shot selection and the range, Sanju doesn't come close, but I still remember Sky's World Cup campaign, and that doesn't inspire a lot of confidence in me.
'Cause, yeah,
20
I think
over,
it's just a lot of
20 over.
PTSD. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the by anchor players, Gandalf really means about people who are stroke makers. So people who have the textbook shots in place and people who can actually play the ground shots a lot more than the sixes, right? So I
Yeah,
think
not
this
taking
World
too
Cup,
many risk and reward kind of
But still keep
approach.
the
Yeah.
scoreboard ticking.
yeah, finding the gaps. I think Virat Kohli is that player, and definitely Rohit Sharma with
Yeah.
his pull. The pull is an added strength to this guy right
Honestly,
now.
Honestly, I agree with Varun saying that Rohit would be a better anchor player right now because with USA's like sluggish, slow outfields, like so slow, you're not going to get a lot of force. If you need runs and boundaries, you're going to have to hit sixes. And I think Rohit has a better six. Rohit has one of the best six hitting games in the world.
Yeah.
Like his stats speak for himself, and I think Rohit could be your more suited anchor with his six hitting ability because fours are not going to be easy to come by. You saw two opening batters start off with threes like Babar and Rizwan.
The
You're going to see a
outfield,
lot of
yeah.
threes in this World Cup. Virat's going to be there, right at there. Maybe not the fours, but he's going to be running those.
Yep. Cool. We have reviewed our first big game. I'm sure we'll do more of this, at least for the India and Australia games, given the
Yeah.
The
personal
final, you
at
mean?
our disposal. Thank you for joining in, folks. We just hang in there. Um, we hope Dubey does too. Will work.
Dude's not moving. You don't have to worry about him.
I think Dubey will
Dude,
get
don't move.
max one more game. That's it.
Yeah, but I
That's
think it's
ironic. You should have just rested him and let him play in the second half, like how we do with somebody like a
no,
Scott
I
Boland
think
and
it's still
KC.
early days in the tournament, and I feel that it's going to be a lot of experiments which will happen by with different team managements taking different decisions. These are the
Absolutely,
games
and
that they can actually tinker with a lot with the squad, and
for
you will
sure.
have more or less settled squad towards the fag end of the group stages.
Yeah,
But
and
thanks everyone for joining once again, and appreciate Varun. Congratulations on your debut. But like, share,
Thank you very
subscribe, and
much.
watch the other episodes that will come in as we progress through the tournament. Thank you and goodbye.
Absolutely.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a good day.